Hello everyone, and welcome to what is definitely one of the craziest videos I've uploaded on this channel. The all-time cheapest Muddy Puddles Chimps completion, using the brand new discovered Elite Defender bug. I talked a lot more about the bug in my last video, where I talk about how to perform the bug, how the bug works, the uses it has, and the other tower that it works with. So if you really care about that, go watch that video first. But if you don't really care and just want to see some cool Muddy Puddles gameplay, the bug is essentially you can just trigger the Elite Defender's life loss 4 times attack speed ability by just pressing a really weird and obscure hotkey that NK left in the game for some reason. And yeah, we're going to be abusing that and its overpowered synergy with Psy to absolutely destroy Muddy Puddles. Oh yeah, something else I also didn't include, as I'm guessing you noticed, just for the sake of the viewing experience, were the first few rounds where I got to Adasaurus. These rounds are insanely boring and it's just a bunch of base Beast Handler micro, which isn't fun to watch at all. They were also really annoying and I didn't want to have to record and waste a ton of space on my hard drive. So yeah, if you really want to watch a video of the early game, I'll link it in the description of chocolatebar, a much better player than me doing it. So yeah. Also, if I really wanted to, that base sniper can be double discounted. I intentionally chose to single discount it because if I double discounted it, it would be $20 cheaper, and the total cost of the run would have been $60,080, which looks much worse than $60,100. Yes, this is technically $20 suboptimal, but I think it would look really, really ugly if it's $60,080, and I don't think you're going to get sub $60,000 spent anyway, so yeah, just a nicer looking number. Something funky about this run is that I decided to go downdraft here. While it may look like a weird choice in the Big 25, because downdraft isn't that good anymore, I think it is the only correct choice here. Because I need a tower that does 2 things. I need it to help me save up to Elite Defender, because Adasaurus and Full Auto just can't beat 49. It's not something they can really do. And I also need something to clean up Super Ceramics in the late game while also not making my Elite Defender target those ceramics. So pretty much it just needs to blow them back. And that's what downdraft does, so that's why I think it's the correct choice. And the Elite Defender is afforded on round 52, and from here we just round out the setup by getting a 240 Snowstorm. The top crosspath is required for round 100, primary training, a 013 Moab Glue, and a 024 Moab Press. This is just the cheapest way I could find to beat the late game, and yeah, that's all we're going to be spending. Starting on round 91, this starts to be less of an Elite Defender run and more of just an absolute Psy carry, which is going to become even more apparent over the next few rounds, especially 94, 96, 98, and even 95 a little bit, which sounds crazy because Psy can't even hit DDTs. 95 is supposed to be the second hardest round of this run. It's just supposed to be. All of the runs I had done of this previously, where I was slightly suboptimal, and this is the final one that I optimized, they all had round 95 as the second hardest round of those runs. Somehow here, I got it first try. I think it was just because I got really good Scream RNG and timed my Elite Defender abilities very well, but this was not supposed to be a first try. This run should have taken way longer. '96 actually depends a lot on what happens on 95, because I need to get Scream up at the last possible second before I leak, and I barely do here, which is why I was able to actually beat the round. Scream maybe even 1 or 2 seconds later, and I wouldn't have been able to beat the round here. It may look crazy that I'm using a Scream on 97. It's completely fine, because we're stalling 98 so long that it doesn't actually matter. Here, I just forgot to use the Elite Defender ability sometimes. Somehow it won. Not entirely sure how that happened. But yeah, Elite Defender still takes a long time to pop all of the ZOMG layers, even with 4 times attack speed, which is kind of crazy. This round was definitely the hardest of the run and took over an hour and a half to get right, even on my 3rd time doing it, which is just wild. This Scream, I needed really good RNG to get rid of most of the fortified BFBs. If I had too many, it was just an instant lose on the spot, because Elite Defender cannot kill all of them, and Psy also can't really pick that many of them off, because they do it very, very slowly. The other thing that made 98 really difficult was I needed either Stun or Snowstorm going into 99. One of them was completely required to beat the round, and I also needed Scream back up, which made this ending really, really hard. I kind of just needed to get lucky, and I did here, so that was that. And even on 99, I have to use a Scream, which is crazy, because Elite Defender just can't handle this many fortified Moabs. The Snowstorm I use here while things are at the end of the track lets me get a super boosted Elite Defender attack speed on the DDTs, which lets me kill them very quickly. One final Elite Defender ability can clean up the last few Moabs that Scream could not pop. And you may think a 4 times boosted Elite Defender is going to have a completely free round 100. Nope, it doesn't. It barely pops the layer. And the DDTs leak every time unless I have the top crosspath Snowstorm, which is why I had to go it. It still takes a while to pop those DDTs. So, yeah. Setting it to strong here to focus the ZOMGs. And right at the last second, boom, one final Psy Scream. And with that, oh my god, why does this thing take so long to clean up? Boom. With that, I had finally gotten the cheapest Muddy Puddles Chimps completion ever. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a nice rest of your day, and goodbye. Also, if someone decides to go to version 40 and place down a Corvus and a Papanaw, this gets absolutely destroyed, so hopefully no one does that at any point soon. Alright, actually, bye now.